Tonight we're going to talk about Star Wars. And of all the characters in the entire Star Wars universe, why my favorite is Darth Maul. Welcome to Nighttime Nerd. I love Darth Maul. I love Darth Maul the moment Episode 1 was announced. Before we even saw any footage and we just saw stills and pictures, I thought he was menacing, and he was like he just looked like a villain. But he looked like such an interesting villain, and you wanted to know more and more and more about him. And when you get to the end of Episode 1, and that's it, you're like, wait, I want more. It had been a long time since Return of the Jedi before Episode 1 was released. So the build-up of another Star Wars or anything Star Wars related was there. And because it was so long since we've had anything Star Wars related, just the sight of anything Star Wars was going to be, eaten up. And the fans were just, starved of anything Star Wars related for so long. So when Episode 1 came out, we were grabbing on to everything. And then I resonated towards, Darth Maul because, the villain, he's cool looking, but also there was just, not much known about him at all. Every other character kind of had ties in a way, to the original trilogy, but Darth Maul was this unknown, and he was mysterious, and he was cool. He had the double-bladed lightsaber, which was completely new. But because of that mysteriousness, and because we were so starved of anything Star Wars for so long, he just became this iconic, just whoa, like wow, what is he gonna do? Like, who is he? What is he? So just by that, the cool factor, his cool factor was just so high. Ray Park has to be one of my favorite actors in the Star Wars universe. I remember a couple years after Episode 1 was released, I was a kid, and I was at a Comic-Con, and I was a huge, Darth Maul fan when I was a kid. And I remember buying an autographed Darth Maul picture signed by Ray Park from eBay. And I wasn't entirely sure it was legit, but I cherished it. It was the most I could afford at the time, and it was one of my first autographs that I ever collected. Was Ray Park's autograph, and I went to this show, and he was there, and I remember, and this was a small show, back then. It wasn't like what the cons are today, but I went and met him. And I, went to talk to him. I bought another autograph for him to sign of a headshot, and then I told him, the story of me buying his autograph on eBay. And I told him, like, yeah, I don't know if it's real or not, but now I have one. And because he heard that story, he immediately grabbed a picture, one of the 8x10s of Darth Maul, and he signed it, for me, free of charge, just to make sure that now I definitely had a real, authentic autograph. I thought that was pretty cool. From that moment, I remembered him just being such a cool guy and a nice guy. So it made me love the character, of Darth Maul even more. To know that the guy behind playing this villain, this menacing character, was, actually a really cool guy. Fast forward like decades later, I recently met Ray Park again at a recent Comic-Con, and I told him that story, and he didn't remember, but he had the same demeanor, and he was the same cool guy that I remembered from before. He signed a bunch of the collectibles that I'd collected over time, and it was pretty cool. So I'll probably be getting rid of a lot of my older collection, like all like my other Darth Maul Star Wars toys. I'm probably keeping a couple pieces that are more meaningful to me. I remember when Episode 1 came out, the toys were so hard to come by. The moment they hit shelves, they would sell out, you know, and like especially anything related to Darth Maul. I remember this, the 12-inch action figure. My local store would only get 2 per week, so like they were so scarce and it was so hard to get. I remember, you know, camping out and waiting at the toy store. You know, when the new shipments came in, they would open them in front of, you know, you, and I'd be there ready to claim the, you know, like, you know, the newest figures. So that's how crazy I was with toys. So, you know, fast forward 20 years later, I meet Ray Park again, and I had him sign this piece. So I had amassed a pretty large collection of Darth Maul memorabilia, toys, collectibles, and now I'm probably going to get rid of most of it. I'm probably going to hold on to a couple of the pieces that I've collected, especially the ones that I've had Ray Park sign, because they remind me of the character and they remind me of the actor behind the character as well. So, you know, it's these pieces of Star Wars that almost become personal to me that, you know, make this character even more interesting. If it was just Episode 1, I would still think Darth Maul was an intriguing character, you know, and a powerful character. But because his character was actually expanded and explored in Star Wars Clone Wars and again in Rebels, I think there's so much more that we learned about him, and he became an even more intriguing character. It was all of that was a plus to me. All of that was a bonus, but it was such a good bonus. It was so interesting, and it made you think, man, if they had just, you know, gave him more time and fleshed out even more. And it's not to say that they won't. It's not to say that, you know there aren't any. This is the end for Darth Maul. It's to say that, you know, because we all thought that, you know, Darth Maul was dead after Episode 1, but then, you know, the Clone Wars brought him back to life and showed that there was so much more to this character. We learned more about his character, his race, and his motivations. And because of that, he becomes this, you know, more mysterious than, you know, he was before. And he was already pretty mysterious before, but now we're learning a lot more about his motivations, and that just, you know, has me so much more interested in what's to come. So that is why Darth Maul is one of my favorite characters in the entire Star Wars universe. Who's yours? What do you think? Do you hate Maul? Do you love Maul? And how do you honor your favorite characters? For me, it's autographs, toys. And if Ray Park wasn't such a cool guy, would I still like the character? I don't know. It's hard to answer. But because he's such a cool person in real life, it makes it. I think it just makes it so much easier for me to fall in love with the character. So yeah, I love Darth Maul. So who's your favorite Star Wars character? Let me know in the comments, and I'll see you in the next video.